Hello everyone, Awesome Andrew here, and Happy New Year! We're in the year 2024 now. As always, before moving on to the new year, I like to reflect on the previous year and think of those that we lost who weren't able to join us in the new year. I have them broken down into categories of political, film, music, and miscellaneous. However, I have a few names that I would have liked to have talked about that somehow slipped through the cracks in previous farewell tour videos. So I'm going to take a minute and name these handful of people that I wanted to talk about in years past that I forgot to include. Art Bell in 2018, American broadcaster and author who was the founder and host for the paranormal-themed radio program Coast to Coast AM. Paul Barrere in 2019, American musician and guitarist most prominent as a member of Little Feat, which he played in the band from 1972 until 1979, and then again from 1987 until his death in 2019. Heaven Viola Jackson in 2020, a miscellaneous who at the age of 101 is the last surviving Civil War widow. She married Civil War Union veteran James Bolin in 1936 when he was 93 years old, and were only married for 3 years before he died in 1939. However, the whole idea of someone who married a Civil War veteran died just 4 years ago is such a fascinating story to me, I had to include it. Clu Gulager in 2022. Technically I mentioned him, but he was one I mispronounced. I said Clu Gallagher. American actor who played in Return of the Living Dead, The Tall Man, and The Last Picture Show. Kirstie Alley, also in 2022. Speaking of mispronouncing names, I said Kirstie Alley, not Kirsty, so again, wanted to correct that one. American actress best known as Rebecca Howe in Cheers from 1987 to 1993, as well as Molly Jensen in the Look Who's Talking trilogy. And back to people actually named Gallagher. Leo Anthony Gallagher, simply known as just Gallagher, was an American comedian who became one of the most recognizable comedic performers of the 1980s for his prop and observational routine that included the signature act of smashing a watermelon on stage with a wooden sledgehammer. There are so many more I know I forgot, but this was just a small list I realized over the last few years that I wanted to include. Plenty more musicians, actors, miscellaneous people with amazing stories that I know I skipped over, but I can't talk about everybody. Now, let's move on to those who passed away last year. I have one political, so let's go ahead and talk about that one. Rosalynn Carter, who served as the First Lady of the United States from 1977 to 1981, wife of 39th President Jimmy Carter. Now, before I get an angry mob who hates politics attacking me in the comments section, let's move on to the miscellaneous. Buster Corley, restaurateur and co-founder of Dave & Buster's. Walter Cunningham, astronaut for Apollo 7, which took to space on October 11th and returned on October 22nd, 1968. Bessie Hendricks, the oldest living person in the U.S., born in 1907, making her 115 years old when she passed away last year. Leiji Matsumoto, Japanese manga artist known for his space operas Space Battleship Yamato and Galaxy Express 999. Joe Giella, American comic book artist for DC Comics during the 1950s and 1960s, which fans called the Silver Age of comic books, working on Flash, Green Lantern, and even some Batman comics. Klaus Teuber, board game designer, best known as the creator of Settlers of Catan in 1995. Or is it Catan? I've heard it pronounced both ways. Dave Brandt, a farmer who became a popular internet meme that began in 2014 with the caption, "It ain't much, but it's honest work." John Romita Sr., American comic book artist best known for his work on Marvel Comics' Amazing Spider-Man, and also for creating the characters Mary Jane Watson, The Punisher, Kingpin, Wolverine, and Luke Cage. Nami Sano, Japanese manga artist for Haven't You Heard I'm Sakamoto, a very funny slice-of-life anime and manga. John Warnock, American computer scientist, co-founder of Adobe, which is a big deal to me. This video was edited using Adobe products. Cheems Baltz, a Shiba Inu dog who is one of the Doge dog memes, but more associated with the Dogecoin digital currency. Gaston Glock, Austrian engineer and weapons industry executive, founder of Glock. Herb Kohl, alongside his father and brothers, he was a founder of Kohl's department store in 1962. Brian Ansell, British role-playing and wargame designer known for being a co-creator for Warhammer. There are probably thousands more I could have included here, but these were just a few of the ones that didn't fit in the other categories, or had an interesting story, or made something that is a big deal to me, or maybe to a lot of you out there. Now let's move on to one of our two big categories, the film industry, movies and TV. Melinda Dillon, Mother Parker, aka Ralphie's mom in Christmas Story. She was also Jillian in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Other notable movies include Bound for Glory, The Muppet Movie, Harry and the Hendersons, and Captain America. Charles Kimbrough, American actor who was Jim Dial in Murphy Brown in Victor the Gargoyle and Hunchback of Notre Dame. Wally Campo, actor in Machine Gun Kelly, Little Shop of Horrors, and Master of the World. Lloyd Morrisett, one of the founders of Children's Television Workshop, now known as Sesame Workshop, the organization that created Sesame Street, which he created with Joan Gans Cooney. Edward Pressman, film producer for American Psycho and Conan the Barbarian. Cindy Williams, American actress known for her role as Shirley on Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley. She also appeared in American Graffiti and The Conversation. Lisa Loring, actress best known as Wednesday Addams and The Addams Family. George Wilbur, American actor best known for playing Michael Myers in Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, and Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. Oliver Wood, British cinematographer for The Bourne Ultimatum, Face Off, and Morbius. George Miller, Scottish-born Australian film director for The Man from Snowy River, The Never-Ending Story 2, The Next Chapter, and Zeus and Roxanne. Richard Belzer, American actor best known for his role as John Munch in both Homicide: Life on the Street from 1993 to 1999, and then the first 15 seasons of Law & Order SVU. Jansen Panettiere, American actor best known for playing in Racing Stripes, Robots, Ice Age: The Meltdown, and the Exes cartoon series. Burnett Mattinson, Disney animator, director, and storyboard artist from 1953 to 2023, working on movies like Lady and the Tramp, Sleeping Beauty, Mary Poppins, Jungle Book, The Rescuers, Aladdin, Lion King, Pocahontas, Mulan, Tarzan, Big Hero 6, and most recently Wish. These are just some of the movies he worked on, by the way. Tom Sizemore, American actor in Saving Private Ryan, Bringing Out the Dead, Black Hawk Down, and Pearl Harbor. Michael Lerner, American actor who played in 8 Men Out, Godzilla, Elf, and X-Men Days of Future Past, to name a few. Jerry Springer, British-born American television host for Jerry Springer from 1991 to 2018, and hosted American Idol Seasons 2 and 3. Ed Ames. So this is a weird case of Mandela effect. I remember him dying in 2009, but no, he was still here until last year. American singer who sang My Cup Runneth Over and Time, but I know him better as Mingo, one of the main characters in the Daniel Boone TV show. Michael Batea, American comedian and actor best known for his role as Dennis, the manager of the industrial laundromat that was the cover-up for the meth lab in Breaking Bad. Randy Fulmer, American animator for Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Beauty and the Beast, and also the film producer for Emperor's New Groove. Bo Goldman, American screenwriter for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Melvin and Howard, and Scent of Woman. He was also an Oscar winner in 1975 and 1980. Mark Gilpin, American actor in Jaws 2, The Legend of the Lone Ranger, and Earthbound. Paul Reubens, American actor best known for playing as Pee Wee Herman in The Pee Wee Herman Show, Pee Wee's Big Adventure, and Pee Wee's Playhouse. He has been in the role of Pee Wee Herman from 1977 all the way until 2016, and active in the 1990s for reasons, if you know, you know. Mark Margolis, American actor best known for playing Hector in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. His performance in Breaking Bad was nominated for an Emmy in 2012. Arthur Schmidt, American film director for Back to the Future, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Forrest Gump. He also won an Oscar in 1988 and 1994. William Friedkin, American film, television, and opera director, producer, and screenwriter. He is best known for The French Connection, which won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director, and The Exorcist, which earned him another Academy Award nomination for Best Director. Johnny Hardwick, American voice actor and television writer, best known for playing the role of Dale Gribble in King of the Hill. He also won an Emmy in 1999. Nizo Yamamoto, Japanese art director for Castle in the Sky, Princess Mononoke, and Grave of the Fireflies. Arlene Sorkin, American actress, screenwriter, television presenter, and comedian. She is best known for playing Calliope Jones in Days of Our Lives and serving as the real-life inspiration and voice for the DC character Harley Quinn, which was co-created by her friend Paul Dini after seeing her dressed as a jester in a dream sequence on A Day of Our Lives. Harley Quinn made her first appearance in the Batman animated series, becoming a fan-favorite villain. Bob Barker, American game show host for The Price is Right from 1972 to 2007, as well as hosting Truth or Consequences from 1965 to 1975. I remember that scene in Happy Gilmore with Adam Sandler where he yells at Bob Barker, "The price is wrong!"
The price is wrong.
David McCallum, Scottish actor in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. in NCIS as Ducky from 2004 to 2023, the first 20 seasons. Sir Michael John Gambon, Irish-English actor known as Dumbledore in Harry Potter. Burt Young, American actor best known for playing as Rocky Balboa's brother-in-law and best friend Paulie in the Rocky movies. Jeff Burr, American film director for Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, Stepfather 2, and Puppet Master 4. Phyllis Coates, American actress best known for her portrayal of Lois Lane and Superman and the Mole Men in the first season of the television series Adventures of Superman. Piper Laurie, American actress known for her roles in The Hustler, Carrie, and Children of a Lesser God. Richard Mole, American actor best known for playing Aristotle Nostradamus Bull Shannon on Night Court and also voicing Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face, in Batman the Animated Series. Matthew Perry, American-Canadian actor best known as Chandler in Friends. Tim Woodward, best known for narrating the children's show Wide Eye and Sergeant Alan Farmer in Wings. Andre Braugher, American actor best known for his roles as Detective Frank Pimpleton in Homicide, Life on the Street, and Captain Raymond Holt in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Last one in this category, Kenpachiro Satsuma, Japanese actor and stuntman who portrayed Godzilla from 1984 to 1995. There are plenty more I could include, but I want to move on to what is the most important category to me, music industry. Fred White, drummer for Earth, Wind & Fire from 1974 to 1984. Jeff Blackburn, songwriter for My My Hey Hey Out of the Blue, made famous by Neil Young, and guitarist for Blackburn and Snow from 1965 to 1967, and then Moby Grape from 1973 to 1975. Jeff Beck, double Rock and Roll Hall of Famer for being a guitarist for the Yardbirds from 1965 to 1966, and then the Jeff Beck Group from 1967 to 1972. Dennis Budimir, jazz and rock guitarist for the Wrecking Crew, who worked with many artists including The Fifth Dimension, Quincy Jones, Peggy Lee, Harry Nilsson, Robert Palmer, The Partridge Family, Linda Ronstadt, Tom Scott, Bud Shank, and many more. Robbie Bachman, Canadian drummer for Brave Belt from 1971 to 1972, and then Bachman Turner Overdrive from 1973 to 1979, and then 1988 to 2005. Lisa Marie Presley, singer-songwriter who wrote the song Lights Out Daughter, but she's better known as the daughter of Elvis Presley. Bruce Gowers, British television and music video director for Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, Staying Alive by Bee Gees, and 1999 by Prince. Johnny Powers, born as John Pavlik, a rockabilly singer and guitarist. Until 1955, Powers performed and recorded under his birth name, but following a studio session for Fortune Records, co-owner Deborah Brown saw Pavlik eating a Powerhouse candy bar and gave him the name Johnny Powers. David Crosby, another double Rock and Roll Hall of Famer for the Byrds, which he played on and off from their creation in 1964 until 2000, and then Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, a supergroup with Stephen Stills and Graham Nash, and Neil Young. Anthony Topham, English musician and the original guitarist for the Yardbirds. Dean Daughtry, keyboardist for Classics 4 and then later Atlanta Rhythm Section, where he played from 1971 to 2019. Floyd Sneed, American drummer for Three Dog Night from 1968 to 1974, and then 1981 to 1984. Barrett Strong, singer known for his recording of Money, That's What I Want, written by Jane Bradford and Berry Gordy, also known for his own songwriting work with the producer Norman Whitfield, where they wrote I Heard It Through the Grapevine, War, Just My Imagination Running Away With Me, and Papa's Rolling Stone. Charlie Thomas, Hall of Fame singer for the Drifters from 1958 to 1967. I'm going to stop for just a second and say this. I remember imagining me telling my past self of all the musicians that we lost in 2023 and give this list, and my past self would say, oh man, 2023 sounds pretty bad, which current self would say, yeah, and that's just January. Now let's get back to it. Burt Bacharach, American Hall of Fame composer for Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, made famous by B.J. Thomas, Walk On By, made famous by Dionne Warwick, and Arthur's Theme, made famous by Christopher Cross, who was also one of the co-writers for that song. Huey Smith, American R&B pianist and songwriter for Rockin' Pneumonia and the Boogie Woogie Flu. Tom Whitlock, American songwriter for Danger Zone, made famous by Kenny Loggins, Take My Breath Away, made famous by Berlin, and Winner Takes It All, made famous by Sammy Hagar. Bruce Barthol, American bassist for Country Joe and the Fish from 1965 to 1968. David Lindley, American musician who worked with many artists including Jackson Browne, Linda Ronstadt, Ry Cooder, Bonnie Raitt, Warren Zevon, Curtis Mayfield, and Dolly Parton, to name a few. Playing a mix of stringed instruments including the violin, electric guitar, acoustic guitar, electric bass, dobro, bouzouki, lap steel guitar, and pretty much any other thing that has strings on it. Gary Rossington, founding member of Lynyrd Skynyrd, playing with the band since it was founded in 1964 until his death in 2023. Skynyrd being inactive from 1977 to 1987 after the infamous plane crash, and the only member present on every album. He also formed the Rossington Collins Band with Alan Collins, and joined by Skynyrd bassist Leon Wilkeson and pianist Billy Powell. Jim Gordon, American musician and session drummer in the 1960s and 1970s, best known as the drummer for Derek and the Dominos. Also performed on the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds, the Byrds' Notorious Bird Brothers, Joe Cocker's Mad Dogs and Englishmen, and Traffic's Low Sparks of High-Heeled Boys. He sadly struggled with schizophrenia and ended up murdering his mother in 1983. Clarence Fuzzy Haskins, American singer best known for playing in the Parliaments, which later evolved into Parliament Funkadelic in 1968, playing with the band until 1977. Tom Ledden, American musician, founding member of Tom Petty's band Mudcrutch in 1971 until 1972, and returning in 2007 to 2017. He was also the brother of Eagles founding member Bernie Ledden. Keith Reid, English lyricist and songwriter, wrote every original song by Procol Harum except their final album in 2017, Novum. Ian Berenson, Scottish musician who played guitar on Alan Parsons' project from 1975 to 1990, and Kate Bush's first 4 albums. Lasse Wellander, Swedish guitarist for ABBA, playing in the band from 1974 to 2021. Harry Belafonte, American singer who popularized calypso music in the 1950s and 1960s, best known for Day-O, the Banana Boat song. He was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2022 for the Early Influence category. Tim Bachman, Canadian guitarist for Brave Bell and later Bachman Turner Overdrive, playing from 1973 to 1974, and then 1987 to 2002. I feel bad for Randy, losing 2 of his brothers just a few months apart from each other. Gordon Lightfoot, Canadian Hall of Fame singer-songwriter, known for the songs Sundown, The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and If You Can Read My Mind. Pete Brown, English performance, poet, lyricist, and singer, best known for his collaborations with Cream and Jack Bruce. Him and Bruce wrote many of Cream's songs, including I Feel Free, White Room, and Swobbler. She was like a bearded rainbow is what it stands for. And along with Eric Clapton and Bruce, and wrote Sunshine of Your Love. Chaz Newby, British musician who was briefly the bassist for the Beatles for several gigs in the 1960s while Stuart Sutcliffe was still in Hamburg focusing on his art career. Sheldon Reynolds, American guitarist for the Commodores from 1983 to 1987, and then Earth, Wind & Fire from 1987 to 2002. Tina Turner, American-born Swiss Hall of Fame singer, known as the Queen of Rock and Roll, rose to prominence as the lead singer of Ike and Tina Turner from 1960 to 1976, and then a solo career. Her 1984 album Private Dancer contained the hit song What's Love Got to Do With It, which won the Grammy Award for Record of the Year. She sold more than 100 million records worldwide, becoming one of the best-selling recording artists of all time, and received 12 Grammy Awards, and is a 2-time Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, Ike and Tina in 1991, and then her solo career in 2021. Jack Lee, American songwriter for Hanging on the Telephone, made famous by Blondie, Come Back and Stay, made famous by Paul Young, and You Are My Love, made famous by Suzi Quatro. Cynthia Weil, American Hall of Fame songwriter, known for co-writing You've Lost That Lovin' Feelin', made famous by Righteous Brothers, Here You Come Again, made famous by Dolly Parton, and Somewhere Out There, made famous by Linda Ronstadt and James Ingram. Sam Cutler, English tour manager for many different artists including the Rolling Stones and the Grateful Dead. Tony Bennett, American jazz and traditional pop singer who sold more than 50 million records worldwide, known for singing Because of You, Rags to Riches, and I Left My Heart in San Francisco. He was also a 20-time Grammy winner. Randy Meisner, American Hall of Fame musician, bassist, and singer who was a founder of Poco in 1968 before being replaced by Tim Schmidt in 1969, but better known as a founding member of Eagles from 1971 to 1977, before being replaced by Schmidt again. Meisner is known for singing Take It to the Limit and Try to Love Again. John Gosling, British keyboardist, pianist, and vocalist, best known as a member of the Kinks from 1970 to 1978. William Perry Jr., aka DJ Casper or Mr. C the Slide Man, best known for the song The Cha-Cha Slide. Robbie Robertson, Canadian musician who was the lead guitarist for Bob Dylan from 1965 until 1976, as well as acting as the guitarist and songwriter for the band from 1967 to 1976, when the band did The Last Waltz on November 25th, 1976, though the album wasn't released until April of 1978, so you can say he was still a member until 1978. Robert Feldman, American songwriter and record producer, best known for his work in the 1960s with fellow writers Jerry Goldstein and Richard Gotterer, including My Boyfriend's Back, made famous by the Angels, I Want Candy, made famous by the Strangeloves, which is made up of Feldman, Goldstein, and Gotterer, and Sorrow, made famous by the McCoys, the Mercies, and David Bowie. He also co-produced the McCoys' hit song Hang On Sloopy. Bernie Marsden, English guitarist for Whitesnake from 1978 to 1982, known for co-writing the band's hit songs Fool for Your Loving', Walking in the Shadow of the Blues, Ready and Willing, and Here I Go Again. Jimmy Buffett, American singer-songwriter and founder of Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville restaurant chain, named after his best-known song Margaritaville. Another hit was Cheeseburger in Paradise. Steve Harwell, American singer for Smash Mouth from 1994 to 2021, known for singing their hit songs Walking on the Sun and All-Star. Gary Wright, American musician and composer, a founding member of Spooky Tooth, where he was a member from 1967 to 1970, 1972 to 1974, and then 2008-2009. He is better known for his 1975 album Dreamweaver that had the hit songs Dreamweaver and Love's Alive. John Marshall, English drummer and founding member of Nucleus and Soft Machine. Rudolph Isley, American singer-songwriter and one of the founding members of the Isley Brothers and the songwriter for It's Your Thing and That Lady. Peter Soley, English musician and producer who worked with Eric Clapton, Al Stewart, and Whitesnake, as well as producing records for Ted Nugent, Oingo Boingo, Motorhead, and Peter Frampton, among others. He was also a member of Procol Harum in 1977. He also produced the romantic song What I Like About You. Dusty Street, American disc jockey, one of the first women to work on air in FM radio on the West Coast and associated with the KROQ in Los Angeles in the 1980s, and was inducted into the Bay Area Radio Hall of Fame in 2015. I know her better as a DJ on SiriusXM Deep Tracks and Classic Vinyl channels. Chad Allen, Canadian musician, founding member and original lead singer of the Guess Who, known at the time as Chad Allen and the Reflections, and then later Chad Allen and the Expressions. Miles Goodwin, Canadian musician, best known as the lead vocalist, guitarist, keyboardist, and primary songwriter for April Wine from 1969 to 1986, and then 1992 to 2023. Denny Lane, English Hall of Fame musician who was a founding member of the Moody Blues from 1964 to 1965, and then Wings from 1971 to 1981. He also co-wrote with Paul McCartney their biggest UK hit song, Mull of Kintyre. Jim Ladd, American DJ, radio producer, and writer, one of the last notable free-form rock DJs in U.S. commercial radio. He also appeared on Roger Waters' album Radio Chaos, portraying a fictional DJ named DJ Jim, who talks about the album's protagonist Billy. I know him better for his time on SiriusXM Deep Tracks and his show that ran from January 2012 to December 2023. Tom Smothers, American comedian, musician, half of the duo Smothers Brothers with Dick Smothers. Tom played acoustic guitar. His signature line was, "Mom always liked you best." And there are so many more musicians I can talk about, but these are just a few of the ones that stood out to me or I felt would stand out to you. I'm going to end with what I say every year before ending these videos, is thank you for your movies. And thank you for your music. Thank you for everything you've given us after all these years. You may be gone, but you won't be forgotten. May your legacy continue to live on in your music, and in your movies, and in our lives. Thank you, and farewell.